country house in Norfolk once belonged to the Duke of Wellington. Bolton Agnew's family bought it 125 years ago. As you'd expect, a background like this first led to the professions. In Bolton's case, it was the law. But an entirely different world opened up when the farmer's son from Norfolk came across a transatlantic idea called Rent-A-Wreck. He bought the rights, changed the name, and was on his way to a brand new career. Bolton Agnew's now a practical man.
I got the idea of starting a business from my business in Canada, where I was working for Shell Oil, and I did a bit of travelling for them around North America, and I noticed that that there were a lot of fairly high standard, well presented rental cars available in North America. In other words, the choice was beyond Avis and Hertz, and the vehicles below that were still quite good, whereas in the UK, when I came home on visits, I noticed that that beneath the major internationals there was no offering. So I felt that there was a gap in the market, and that was my original thinking about coming back to England to start a rental business.
I'm the opposite of Bolton. I came over from Canada to this country and have worked here since 1950, and Bolton went over to Canada. But anyway, when I retired, I went over on a 3-month holiday to visit friends. And we're going on a ferry from Vancouver across to the island. And Margaret came up to me and said, "What are we paying for our car rental?" And we had a car from Avis, and I told her, and she said, "Well, here's a car company advertising into half the price we're paying." I had to be interested. And when I got to Campbell River, I asked my cousin if he knew anything about this Rent-A-Wreck, and he said, "Yes, there's an office here." I rang the fellow up and arranged an interview with him. And when I arrived at the office, Bolton met me at the door.
I joined Practical initially because I had known Bolton through selling him advertising space, and from my point of view, coming from a council estate in Mitcham, it was a rather unusual background to be meeting someone. So we seemed to get along. I got him an advertorial, which is an editorial in my magazine at the time, which got him lots of inquiries for franchisees. And the attraction of coming to Birmingham at the time and doing something different appealed to me. It was fortunate that I happened to be going through a divorce at the same time, so the change was as good as the rest. And so I've been there for the last 20 years.
Always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in, 'cause you are gold. I'm glad that you're about to return.
Since Jim Jordan added on the franchise to his business in Leicester 4 years ago, income from it's increased nearly 20-fold.
There's a lot of problems in renting vehicles. We needed a disciplined system, and we looked around for sort of 4 or 5 years before we came up with Practical. We have brought a system in that they made the mistakes on ironed out. We can go stage by stage, and it tells us the lot.